Hi guys, today we're going to do Excel Chapter 2 guided project. This is a car calculator. Basically, someone wants to purchase a car, and so you've got an Excel spreadsheet that kind of calculates down payment, interest rates, those types of things based on your credit rating, because in real life, if you have a poor credit rating, you are going to get you're going to have to put a larger down payment down, and you're not going to get as good of an APR. So this chapter really starts to introduce conditions, as well as it introduces a function called a lookup function. The lookup function is one that a lot of students struggle with comprehending exactly what it's trying to do. So I'm going to do my best to get you through it and explain it. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will work with you on it. Okay, so step 2 says type auto loan calculator in cell A1. So in cell 1, I'm going to do just that. If I can spell properly. And then it says, and then merge and center the title on the first row in range A1 to F1. So I'm going to take A1 to F1, and I'm going to say merge and center. Apply bold, which mine already is, 18-point font size, and gold accent for darker 25% font color. Okay, so here's our font color, and this is gold accent 4, and then darker 25% is this one down here. Okay, so it should look like that. Okay, step 3, insert a function in cell C6 to display the current date. Okay, so cell C6 down here, date to the first payment, so that would be the current date, and it's just equal today. We'll open and close parentheses. Remember with functions, which are different than formulas, formula is where you're going to say this plus this plus this plus this is a formula, okay? A function is a built-in tool by Excel that performs a certain task. So in this case, the today function prints out today's date, and every single time that you open up that spreadsheet, that date will change. Now, all formulas and functions, as we've said before, always start with an equal sign. Functions will always have an open and a closed parentheses. With these functions, some of them will take stuff inside of the parentheses, so it will take parameters that you pass to the function that it performs on. An example of this is the sum function. If you want to sum a series of cells, then you would put those cells inside of those parentheses, telling the sum function to sum these cells up. So we're going to do the today function, and it puts in today's date. Okay, step 4, it says use the format painter to copy the formatting from range A3 to C3 to ranges A9 to C9. Okay, so basically we're taking this here, and we want this to look exactly the same. Okay, and you can do that with what they call the format painter, and it's really a very handy tool, especially when you need to change the formatting of multiple things to the same thing. They want you to do, not only do they want you to do this range, but they want you to do this range, and this range. Okay, so all the headings, they want you to do all the headings. So the format painter, you highlight what you want to copy, okay, and you click the format painter, which is on your home tab. Now, if you click the format painter one time, then it will allow you to paint, and as soon as you take your mouse, unclick your mouse button, it's going to go back to a normal edit mode. It's no longer the format painter. Notice how my cursor is no longer a paintbrush. Okay, but when you do this, that means you have to go back and click format painter again to do the next set. So that can get kind of time consuming. So the other thing that you can do with format painter is you can double click it. So double clicking it will keep the format painter active for as many times as you need it until you click format painter a third time. Once you click it a third time, then it will go back to normal editing mode. So I'm going to double click format painter, and now I can come in here and I can paint that, and I can paint that. Notice how my cursor stays the paintbrush, and then I'm going to click that, and now I'm done. So now that I'm done, I'm going to uncheck the format painter. Okay, now I'm a little anal retentive, and so you'll notice how this border disappeared when we did this, because we did a format on 3 columns here where we only did it on 2, and this second column here doesn't have the border. Since I'm so anal, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add that right border back in there. It's not going to grade it wrong one way or the other. It's just looks nicer to me, and like I said, I'm anal. Okay. Step 5, apply the percent style with no decimal points to the range B15 to B18. Okay, so here's our column B. So B15 to B18, we want it to be a percentage. We want it percent style with no decimal points. So I'm going to do percent. And by default, mine did no decimal points. So that's perfect. Now we want to apply percent style with 2 decimal points to the range C15 to C18. So C15 to C18, I'm going to hit percentage again, but this time I'm going to increase my decimal points to 2. Okay. Now if yours already has 2, then you don't need to do anything. And same here is if yours has decimal points, then you need to decrease it so that it has 0. Okay. Step 6, type APR based on credit rating in cell E4. So here's E, and so E4 right here. So I'm going to say APR based on credit rating. Okay. And then E5, I'm going to type min down payment required. Make sure you get that capital. Okay, and then cell in E5, I'm going to type in sales tax. Okay. Step 7, we have some more labels to put. So in cell E10, they want total down payment. In E11, they want amount of the loan. E12, they want monthly payment, P and I. So P and I means principal and interest, or it's basically principal plus interest. And then this is monthly sales tax. Okay? Easy enough. Okay. Now we get to the fun stuff. Now we get into our VLOOKUP functions and some more of our calculations. Okay, in cell F4, it says to enter a lookup function to display the interest rate of the loan. The function should reference the borrower's credit rating and the table array in range A15 to C18. Include the range lookup argument to ensure an exact match. So a lookup function, basically what it's asking us to do, this APR is based on the credit rating. Down right here in A7 or row 7 here, you have the borrower's credit rating, which in this case is excellent. Down here in this table, right here, it is telling you that these are the down payments and the APRs based on that particular credit rating. So if my credit rating is excellent, my APR is going to be 3.25%. If it's poor, it's going to be 5.25%. What the lookup function, what they want you to do is they want you to look up what is in this cell right here. They want you to look up that value in this table and then return the corresponding APR that's in this column. Okay, so yes, we could just go in and type, okay, we know that its credit rating is excellent, and we can type in here 3.25%. That's easy enough for us to look. But what happens when this changes for the next customer and their credit rating is fair? Okay, we would have to go back and look at this and then change this. The lookup function will do that for us automatically. That's why we have the lookup function. Okay, so we're going to start with an equal sign like we do with all formulas and functions, and we're going to do a VLOOKUP. Okay, VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. It looks in the leftmost column of the table and then returns the value in the same row from a column that you specify. Okay, so it looks vertically. It looks up and down vertically in a column to find the value, and then it returns the corresponding value in another column. The H lookup is horizontal, which is the exact opposite. Horizontal is going to look for a value in the first row and then return the corresponding column value with the column number that you specify. Okay, so we're going to do a VLOOKUP function. We're going to open up our parentheses. Our lookup value, that is, what are we looking up? Okay, it's like a dictionary. You want to look up a word in a dictionary. Okay, our lookup value, what we're wanting to look up, is this word right here. Whatever is in this cell is what we want to look up. So I'm going to click on cell C7. Then I'm going to do a comma. The table array is our dictionary. Okay, we're going to look up in our dictionary this value of excellent or whatever is in cell C7. So where is our dictionary? Our dictionary, as it states in the instructions, is A15 through C18. Okay, so that is our table array. That is our dictionary. Okay, the column index number, that is like the page that your definition is on. Okay, so instead of a page number, we're returning a column number. Which column is our definition in? So it's literally a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a number, literally a number. So you're going to count columns. 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns. Okay, our value is the APR, so we want column number 3. So I'm going to say 3, and then I'm going to do a comma. And the VLOOKUP function, as well as the HLOOKUP function, has the ability to do an approximate match or an exact match. So it's like looking up in a dictionary and you're looking up the word excellence instead of excellent. And so you find a word that's close and it kind of gives you the same meaning, almost like a synonym, okay? So in this case, we want an exact match. We want to find that word excellent, not anything close, that exact word. So we're going to click on false, or you can type in false, but false means an exact match. Okay, so if you double click on that, it puts in false, and then close your parentheses because you've finished your formula, or you finished your function rather. And then hit enter, and you'll see we get the value 3.25%. So let's test out this VLOOKUP function. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change our credit rating. I'm going to change it to poor, if I can spell correctly. Now you'll notice, since I changed that, this automatically changed. That is because our VLOOKUP function is looking up in our dictionary to find the definition of poor for APR and put it in this column. Okay, so I'm going to change that back to excellent because we want to keep it that way. And we're going to move on. Okay, so in cell F5, we're going to insert a lookup function that uses the credit rating to determine the minimum down payment. Again, just like the APR, your down payment percentage is based on your credit rating. If you have a high credit rating, your down payment is going to be less. Why? Because they figure you're trustworthy if you have a good credit rating. If you have a poor credit rating, they're going to say, okay, I'm worried this person's going to skip out on these payments, so I'm going to require larger down payment. Okay? So, let's do the VLOOKUP function again. Do your equal sign. I'm going to do this one actually through the window system, okay, through the dialog box. So I'm going to click my function button here, and I'm going to say insert function, and mine has VLOOKUP function here because it's a common function that I use. But if you don't have it, you can either look it up here, or you can come down here, and it is lookup and reference is where it's located. So I'm going to say lookup and reference, and I'm going to scroll down, and there is VLOOKUP, and I'm going to say OK. Okay, so you'll notice that this has the same information as what it did here when I did the lookup function, just typing it in. So what is my lookup value? My lookup value, again, is your credit rating, which is in cell C7. So I'm going to click on C7, and it puts it in there. What is my table array? My dictionary. What is my dictionary? My dictionary is A15 through A8 or C18. Okay, there's my dictionary. My column index number. So which column is my definition in? In this case, because we want the down payment, we want this. We want the second column, not the first column, the second column. So I'm going to put a 2. Okay, and then we want to ensure an exact match again. So I'm going to type in false. Okay, and you're going to see here we get 0.05. which is 5%, not formatted in a percentage. And we're going to say OK. Okay, so that is not the right answer, right? We don't have a 5-cent down payment required. That is a percentage, but what percentage is it? Okay, the percentage of the down payment, or the down payment is a percentage of the cost of the vehicle. Okay, so we need to multiply this down payment percentage by cell A4 or C4 because that's the negotiated cost of the vehicle. So we have to put down 5% of $35,000 as a minimum down payment. So I'm going to hit enter, and it says $1,750. So that sounds a little bit more reasonable for a down payment. So we have the minimum down payment that's required. So again, let's test this VLOOKUP function. So if I were to come in here and type in poor, you notice, oh wow, I went up to a $7,000 down payment because it's 20% of this $35,000. So you know that your VLOOKUP function is working properly. Okay, so I'm going to put it back to excellent. Step 10. Step 10 says in cell F6, multiply the negotiated cost of the vehicle by the sales tax rate to determine the sales tax. So here in F6, we want to know what the sales tax is. Well, here's our sales tax rate, which is in cell C10. So I'm going to do an equal sign. This is going to be a formula, not a function. It's a simple multiplication. We're going to take the negotiated cost of the vehicle and we're going to multiply it by the sales tax rate and hit enter. Now in this case, because we got an excellent credit rating and our down payment is 5% and the sales tax is 5%, these two values are the same. Okay. Again, if we change this, you'll notice the down payment goes up, but the sales tax does not. The sales tax is standard. Sales tax is always going to be the same percentage, irregardless of what your credit rating is. Okie dokie. Step 11 in cell F10. So in F10, add the minimum down payment located in cell F5, which is minimum down payment here, F5, with the additional down payment located in cell C5. So this one. So what basically they're saying, okay, the minimum down payment is $1,750, but in addition to the $1,750, this person wants to pay an additional $5,000. So that's going to be our total down payment. So our total down payment is going to be $6,750. So you're going to do literally that. You're going to do an addition. You're going to do an equal sign to say that it's a formula or a function, and in this case it's a formula. We're going to do our minimum down payment, and then we're going to add it to our additional down payment. Simple enough, and hit enter. In cell F11, enter a formula to determine the difference between the negotiated cost of the vehicle and the total down payment, because we're looking for the amount of the loan. So the amount of the loan is going to be whatever the cost of the vehicle is minus the down payment that we're putting down. So we need to do exactly that. We need to subtract those two. So we're going to do an equal sign. We're going to take the negotiated cost and we're going to subtract the down payment. There we go. Okay. Cell F12, we are going to use the PMT function. So Excel has built into it a payment function that uses the monthly payments and interest and the number of payments that you're going to be making to calculate what your monthly payment is, because it's always going to be principal plus interest. And if you want to maintain a standard monthly payment, which is what you do with a monthly payment, then it fluctuates a little bit. So this formula calculates all of that out for you so that you have a standard monthly payment for the entire period of your loan. So this is a function. We're going to do equal, and we're going to do PMT. Whoops. Okay. And I think I'm going to actually use my function button, and we'll do it through the window. Okay. So this one is a financial. And if you scroll down, there is PMT. Make sure you don't get PPMT. It's PMT. Say, okay. So your rate. The rate, and you'll see right here is a description. The rate is the interest rate per period for the loan. For example, use 6% divided by 4 for quarterly payments at a 6% APR. So what does APR mean? APR means annual percentage rate. So that means the percentage over a year is what you pay in interest. Well, if you're making monthly payments, you're going to take that annual percentage rate and you're going to divide it by 12. Okay, so where is our APR? Our APR is this cell right here, the APR based on your credit rating, right? So I'm going to do this cell and I'm going to divide it by 12. That is what our rate is. That's our monthly rate. NPER. NPER is the total number of payments for the loan. Okay, so we're making monthly payments. How long is the loan? The loan is 5 years. Okay, that's years. That's not months. That's years. How many payments are we making over those 5 years? Well, we're making monthly payments. So that would be the term of the loan times the number of payments per year. Okay. Whoops, I didn't finish that. So let's go back in here. Now in this case, so we are doing monthly payments. But we only know it's monthly payments because we're doing this 12 payments per year. You can put in here this one, okay, cell C12, because that's going to tell us, you know, what if we decide to do quarterly payments? And so this is going to change to a 4, and this whole calculation in our number of payments is going to change. Okay, the next one is our PV. What is the present value of the loan? Okay, so the present value of the loan at the very beginning of the loan is the amount of the loan, correct? So our amount of the loan is right here, the amount of the loan. Okay. Future value and the type are optional, so we're not going to put those in. And we're going to say, okay. Okay, well, wait a minute. We've got a negative number here. That's why it's in red. Okay, so the payment is always going to be, you're paying an amount. And so that gets subtracted from the amount of your loan, correct? But we don't pay a negative amount. We pay a positive amount. So the way that you fix this is that in your payment function, you put your present value as a negative number, okay? When you do your present value as a negative number, now you can see here the number that you get is a positive number because we're making a positive payment. So you're going to say, okay, so now we have a positive number. The next step, in cell F13, enter a formula to calculate the monthly sales tax based on the total sales tax located in F6 and the total number of payments made per year. Okay, so that means how much sales tax am I going to pay on a monthly basis? Okay, so your payment is going to be your monthly payment times, or not times, but plus your monthly sales tax is going to be your monthly payment. Okay. So this sales tax is calculated by doing an equal sign, and we're going to take your sales tax and you're going to divide it by the number of payments. Okay, so you should get $145. Then in cell F14, you're going to enter in a formula to determine the total monthly payment by adding the monthly payment in cell F12 and the monthly sales tax in F13. So I'm going to just do a simple addition. So equals this number plus this number. And you got it. Okay. Insert a footer with your name on the left side, the sheet name in the center, and the file name code on the right side of the sheet. So we're going to go to, we'll go to insert header and footer. Okay. And we want this in the footer. So I'm going to go to the footer, and mine is already in here. Not sure why. So we're going to change that. Okay. We're going to put your name on the left side. So here I'm going to type in my name. In the center, I'm going to put the sheet name. So that's your tab. So it's going to be payment. So right here, I'm going to say sheet name. And then on the left side, on the right side, you're going to have the file name. So here's your file name. Okay? And then you can go back to the header if you want to, but just click in here to get out of the header and footer. And you'll notice that this is your information, so we're good to go. Once you've inserted that footer, you can save your file and you can submit it, and you're done. Please let me know if you are confused or have issues with the VLOOKUP function or the PMT function, either one. I'll be more than happy to help you and give you some more explanation and try to help you wrap your brain around what's going on. I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll see you for the next guided project.